Welcome to Eugenio Maslowski in Positive. The word present also means gift. Today is a gift from God. I invite you to make today special by enjoying the present moment. Good morning. Today I have a very special person invited to this talk. The person I'm talking about is Tomasz Sobania. Tomasz is a Polish guy that will talk to us about some great adventure that he will make happen as of September of this year in the United States. He's a young man. He's about 25 years old, and I'm really impressed because his experiences in life are, in many cases, a lot more exciting than the experiences in life of people that may be even 100 years old. I met him in the Congress called 60 Million, which was celebrated in Miami in February 2024. And this Congress really is called 60 million because it's talking about the 26 million people that live in Poland and the 34 million estimated Polish people that live in the diaspora. It was for me great to talk to Tomasz, and there we decided that we will work with him in the project where he will run for 140 days consecutive from New York to Los Angeles. And we will talk about this shortly. Tomasz right now is in Poland, so we have about 5 hours a time difference between Jacksonville, Florida, and Poland. I will start asking Tomasz about how did his passion started in working in extreme challenges like the one that you will talk to us or you will make happen as of September. Welcome, Tomasz, and can you talk a little bit about your passion?
Hello, it's a pleasure for me to be here with you. It's pretty funny, I only started running because I was always late, and that's the funny point about that, because I think I wouldn't discover running and my possibilities to recover quickly and perseverance and all that stuff if I wouldn't be always late to go to school. I come from a small town in Poland, so when I started attending high school, I had to be right on time to go by the train to the school. So I was always late, and then because of that, I discovered that I'm pretty good at that. I like that. I like that feeling when I can run for a long time, and I don't have to think about anything. I can just be by myself in the nature, and so that's how I discovered it. And the other thing is that I'm pretty ambitious. Since I was 11 years old, I was writing books because I always loved reading books. And one day I came up with the idea about writing my own book. So I was always pretty ambitious. I was writing books, and then when I discovered running, I started I started thinking about some goals, right? I was thinking about running to the first sanctuary that is closest to my hometown, and also I did some pilgrimages. Walking, not running. But then I came up with the idea that maybe one day I will be running like this in a way of consecutive challenge. So that's how it started, and that
Well,
story.
it seems that the passion comes from what I call blessings in disguise, because if you wouldn't be a person that came late to the places, you wouldn't discover that you were able to run long distances in short time. So that wouldn't be a way that you will discover that you can run marathons. Great.
well,
I think this is a blessing in disguise.
well, I never thought about it that way, but now I can see it, and this is only one of a many blessings in disguise in my life, I think.
Well, that's great. One of the things that is impressive with you is that you have already done very challenging runs. As an example, one of them was to cross all Poland from one corner to the other in 18 days. That means that you made several marathons, like 18 marathons in 18 days. But then you went from Our Lady of Czestochowa Sanctuary to the Vatican in 38 days. And that means that you run again like 35 or 36 marathons consecutive. Then you run from Poland to Barcelona in Spain in 63 days. So you are increasing a lot your challenge. And finally, you run from Poland to Athens in Greece, and then you return, and you did all that in 90 days. But it seems that you are still not tired. You are now coming with a new adventure that we will talk shortly about it. Do you require to have a large team of people to join you to make these adventures, these challenges happen?
Well, yeah, without many people, it wouldn't be possible because I'm running 26 miles every day during these adventures, but I have the physiotherapist who cares about me every day. And then I have a driver who drives the camper van because we sleep in the camper van. So we can save a lot of time that we would waste just driving to hotels, coming back on the truck and all that stuff. So then there's the driver, and also there's always a team. I mean, one or two persons who are doing photos, who are doing videos. When I was running to Barcelona, we did the first documentary movie because I always wanted to share some ideas with people. The main idea that I want to share with people is that I want to inspire them to do more than they think. Because if I can run a marathon every day for 2 or 3 months, then anyone can do more than they think, because I wouldn't even expect that one day I would be running so far. As I mentioned, I was running 1 kilometer to be, I mean, to catch the train, right? As at least we say that in Polish. Maybe you know that, but in
Sure,
Polish,
expression.
we say exactly this is the expression to catch the train, and that's what I did when I started. And now I'm going to run across the whole United States. So this is the main idea I want to spread, and these people who are with me every day, they help me a lot. And during these expeditions, I don't have to care about anything. They cook, they do the shopping, they manage to find the water, because we need a lot of water when we are like 4 or 5 persons in that camper van. Then we need to, yeah, I mean, have a
So, one
shower.
question, one
All that
question. Now
stuff.
that you mentioned the cooking and the water, do you have a special diet when you're running, and do you drink some of the special drinks to energize, like Gatorade or something like that, or not?
Yes, I do. Maybe it's not so special, that diet of mine, but I do. I eat everything, but the main thing is that I want to eat a lot and I want to eat healthy. So these two factors that are important. Each day, I have to eat 5 or 6 thousand calories every day if I want to run like that. And what's funny, after running to Barcelona, I gained 3 kilos because I don't know why. I mean, I gained some muscles, I think. So I have pretty strict diet. I mean, I can eat. I mean, I have to eat a lot of carbohydrates. That's the first
Sure.
thing. Each day, I started diet with an oatmeal that is pretty rich. I mean, there's a lot of nuts and fruit and some honey and all that stuff. Then I eat some pasta or rice and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, each day I have to eat a lot of proteins just to make my muscles recover faster. So
Sure.
but I don't eat like exactly the same things every day. I mean, I don't have to be so strict. I just have to eat a lot and eat pretty healthy.
And the water that you drink has some special minerals or something, the
Well,
supplements?
yes, yes. Normally, I eat the mineral water with isotonic. I don't know. In the United States, I will find some other one, but in Poland, I have one that is pretty good. It's pretty natural. It has the orange flavor, and basically, it's important because when I run, it's not only about carbohydrates and sugar, right? It's also about salt, because when I run for so many hours, sometimes it's 7 or 8 hours a day, then I lose a lot of salt, and it can cause more damage to the muscles, and it can be hard for me to keep going if um, I don't know how to call it in English, but it's important that you keep it at the right level, the level of salt and the water, the hydration.
Yeah, you have to balance it. You have to
Yeah,
balance.
exactly. You know, if I would drink too much water without the salt, then it will be bad too, right? So I cannot drink too much water, and I have to be careful about it.
And this is something that is medicated, or somebody, some nutritionist, prepare for you this formula, or did you learn it by your experience?
Well, I learned a lot during these previous expeditions. I do it for 6 years, so I learned a lot. But I also talked to some nutritionists and some
16
doctors
years. 16.
for
16.
6 years. I'm sorry, yeah, for 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah. I mean, I started running 8 years ago, but since for 6 years, I'm doing these expeditions year by year, going far.
Sure. And have you found some good sponsors up to now, or is people sponsoring your runs?
Well, yes, you know, each expedition was only possible because of the sponsors I found. It always takes a lot of work, but there are some good people who are helping me. And when they found out, for example, that I'm going to run to Rome to meet with the Pope, and also I was running for the girl that was sick, who that has the brain cancer, and I wanted to hand to the Pope the letter from that girl. Then they told me that they want to help me do it. So I finally ran with the help of these sponsors, and I even gave to the Pope the one of the shirts I was running in, and Pope was given that T-shirt, and there are these sponsors logos and the informations about me, the run and all that stuff. So there are some good people. There were some Polish organizations as well, because it's pretty important for me to promote Poland, because I was running with Polish flag across Rome, Barcelona, across many European cities, and one of these organizations that are about to promote Poland on the planet helps me a lot. For example, with this run to Barcelona.
Wow. Well, let's talk about another blessing in disguise that you had in your life, because once there was a 6 degrees of separation example when you were trying to do another adventure, which was different to run. You were trying to go in an independent sailboat to go around the world to celebrate the 100 years of Poland. And you departed from Panama to Gdynia in the Gulf of Gdańsk in Poland. Can you tell us a little bit about how was that 6 degrees of separation that was a blessing in disguise in your life?
Well, yeah, you know, some words about that cruise. I mean, Poland was celebrating 100th anniversary of regaining independence, because before the First World War, Poland regained the independence that was lost for 23 years. So to celebrate that in 2018, Polish sailboat started cruise around the sail around the world. And I was never, I mean, I never went on any trip like that. But I'm quite an adventurous person, right? And when I found out that there's a chance of going across the whole Atlantic Ocean, I decided I'm going to do this. I don't know how, but I'm going to try. And there was this kind of competition. And finally, I was through. I mean, they allowed me to go to Panama and to sail back to Poland. And to do that, it required a lot of stuff to do, right? For example, I had to be healthy, and I had to have all these doctors signed on the paper that says I'm healthy, I'm good to go. But can you imagine that in this small town in Poland where I live, I'm here right now, there is no doctor who can sign such document. So I had to go to Warsaw, and then I found out that it's so hard to manage all these medical things, and also the time was running short. So if I will not do it in a few days, I wouldn't go to Panama, right? And this big adventure would be just lost. And what's funny is that after so many meetings with doctors that told me that they cannot help me, I finally found a lady who told me that if only you do two more test, she will sign that document. But there was no time anymore, and I was completely devastated because I thought I'm not going to go anywhere. And then I just I don't know why, but I thought about her surname, because her surname was just the same as the name of the lady I was staying at in Warsaw. It was a lady who just helped me out because I know her friend, and she told me that I can stay at her place if I need to stay in Warsaw. I was a poor student and I was looking for such an opportunity.
Somewhere to
So,
stay.
yeah, exactly. And can you imagine that this doctor was like,
Or
I
the
don't,
neighbor.
yeah, the doctor was actually living at the upper floor, and I was below. So in the Warsaw that is 1.5 million people, we just found each other in that
In the
room.
same building. In the same building.
Yes, and she told me that I don't have to be worried about that because she can sign everything for me right now, and then I will do these tests and I will go and I will sail across the Atlantic Ocean. But uh, I think that was kind of miracle because for me, the Warsaw is a really big city, and
Oh, no,
to
no.
just
This is what I call a blessing in disguise, because if you wouldn't have to run all these tests, you wouldn't meet probably this doctor, okay? And then you realize that a lot of these problems, a lot of these milestones that you found in your way was like just to create in you this kind of patience that you have to have probably to do these extreme sports.
yeah.
Because if not if the things would be easy, you probably won't be taking this kind of extreme sports.
Well, yes, I think it's not only about this cruise adventure. I mean, um, I think I learned the most by writing books, because to write a book, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of perseverance, patience. It doesn't come easy. I was writing for 6 years before I published my first book, and I was 17 when I published it. So I learned a lot just by doing the same thing every day, dreaming about that one day I'm going to have my own books. And I think it's very important for me as an athlete right now, but also in the moments like this, when it doesn't come easy, but I want something, then it helps me a lot that I'm pretty patient, pretty perseverant, and I know it may not be easy, but I'm going to do this anyway. And thank God there are some people who are good, and maybe I'm lucky, or I don't know, but there are some blessings in disguise in this world.
You know that once I met a businessman that already passed away because he was the father of one of my classmates in the university. And I met him when he had a small factory, and then I met him again many years later, like 16 or 20 years later, when he had already something very big. Where only in the plant there were 17 gardeners taking care of the landscaping. So imagine how big was the factory, you know? And I remember that I asked him, Mr. Leggio, can you please tell me what is your secret? No? And he told me three things. One is that I have to have the vision. If I don't have a vision and I have a clear objective, there is no way that I can follow that objective. The second thing is that I have to be patient, because if I will try to do everything very fast, I will have to leave my business to the banks that will own the business right now. And the third thing he told was the perseverance, that every day he run one more step in the direction of the objective. So he was able to reach that objective after several years. So for me, that was a very nice lesson that I learned many years ago, where he said vision, patience, and perseverance. And this is what you just described in your talk. And the other thing that was impressive in your talk was the 6 degrees of separation, because it's incredible that in a city like Warsaw with 1.2 million people, you will find the person living in the same building where you were staying. So great. This is a great, great story. And that takes us to the next step. One of the issues that you told me is that you run from the sanctuary of the Our Lady of Czestochowa to the Vatican. This basically tells me that you were following like the footsteps of John Paul II, because he went as a cardinal to the Vatican, and then he returned as a pope to Poland. You didn't return as a pope, but you were still able to create other new adventures, like running to Barcelona and running to Athens and back and forth. And now you're getting ready for the next one. But man, running 145 marathons in 63 and 90 days is a lot.
Well, yes, it is. And that was pretty important run for me because can you imagine that I was preparing for 2 years? For 2 years, I had to be patient because there was this pandemic and all that stuff. So when I started in Czestochowa, I was really happy that it finally happened. So that run was really important for me. And you mentioned the lady of Czestochowa, and you know what? I started running, and my first goal was to run to Czestochowa in Poland because I always walked with the pilgrimage that walks for 3 days, and then I thought maybe I will do it in one day, but running. And it was 70 kilometers, it's like 50 miles. It was really hard, but I made it, and this was one of the first runs of my life. First, a little bit more professional than just running to go to school, right? But it was
When
very
when you
important for me.
when you run this kind of long distances, do you feel sometimes the help of Our Lady of Czestochowa supporting you, and do you think about her?
Well, I was praying a lot during these expeditions. For example, when I was running to Santiago de Compostela in Spain, which was the first running expeditions like this, because for 7 days I was running around a marathon distance. So then I was praying for many people, and it takes a lot of suffering. So I decided to be like Christ who suffered for our sins. I mean, not be the Christ, right? But do this quite the same thing in order to help some people, and it was pretty important for me always. I was praying to Our Lady of Czestochowa as well, and I don't know since when, but now these expeditions are more expeditions to find the God, not so much like with the God, I think, which is pretty interesting because if you would go for a walk, then you have pretty good opportunity to think about it, to pray, to just to look for the answers for the biggest questions in this world. And when I run for a few months, then I can think a lot. So now I am praying as well during these expeditions, but I traveled the world. I've seen so many people, so many religions, so many ways of thinking about life that I'm still looking for answers, and I think I will do it since the moment I will die. So I think this is our way as the people, as the human, right? To look for the answers. And Eugenio, maybe you will pray to the Lady of Czestochowa to help me find the right answers.
Well, as I told you the other day, I'm a great believer in the Virgin, and I believe that she is my business partner. She is my life partner, and I think on her like a woman that likes to change dresses. And one day she is Lady of Czestochowa, the next day she's Maria Auxiliadora in Turin, the following day she's the Virgin of the Peace in Medjugorje, the next day she's the Virgin of Fatima in Portugal, or Lourdes in France. So I really believe that we have the opportunity to see a woman that was the Mother of God. And actually, I remember that when I asked for some material things, I was like a little bit concerned that I'm only asked for material things. And in my meditation, what I heard from, or I read from her, was that, and what was the first miracle that I asked my son to do, to perform? And it was to convert water in wine, in a wedding. And then you consider, hey, what is more material than the first miracle of Christ in the world? So we have to trust her as a woman, as a person, as a mother, because this is why Jesus give it to us. So I will pray to the Virgin for you and for your next adventure. But before we move to the next adventure, I usually interrupt here and I read some quote from a person that is related somehow to the person I'm interviewing. In this case, I decided to take a quote from John Paul II, and he said at some point, "My mother is the Virgin Mary, and my home is Czestochowa. In her, I find comfort and strength to carry the cross of my service as Pope." And it's very similar to what you just described, because this quote from John Paul II reminded me how the humans can bear even a wooden cross if they have to support the support of God and the Virgin. That's why I used to say, or he used to say, do not be afraid, because we always will have the strength to do something that God put in our hands. Now let's move to the next adventure, which is really impressive. Let me share here in the screen what you're going to do, because this is something that the people cannot imagine. You're planning to run across America. You're planning to run from New York to Los Angeles. And that is really a run, because you will be running for several months. I think it's from September till February, right?
Yes, exactly. From this September till next February.
And one of the things that I realized that you mentioned is that you gave one of your shirts to the Pope when you run to the Vatican. Uh, I think we will have to have few shirts to give them in Washington to the Congress people that will give you the flag of the freedom.
Mm.
John Rutherford, the congressman from Jacksonville, told me that he will get the flag for you when you will arrive to Washington.
Wow.
So at that moment, what we have to do is probably give them, because he probably will be joined by another couple of Congress persons, and we will have to take some of your shirts to be given as a give back to them. And I'm very proud that you accepted to use our foundation, AM4PC, to be the vehicle to run the funds for you as a non-for-profit organization here in the United States. So thank you for considering us as your partner in this deal. And this means that you will be running for 3,300 miles in 140 days, consecutive days. Okay. And I would like you to tell us a little bit about how did you go to this project like that?
Well, first of all, I have to say I'm really grateful, Eugenio, for your help and support, because I was pretty afraid of it, because I come from Poland. I am going to organize the biggest run of my life in the different country, I mean, different continent, all that stuff. So thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. And I'm really happy to go to Washington to see the congressman, and I will definitely do the laundry before we will be handing them these t-shirts, but we'll do it. I'm gonna sign these t-shirts and I'm gonna hand it to them. And my idea about running across US, I think it came up. It started with the thought that um, always starts everything I do, because I'm a dreamer, right? So it started with a dream it started with a dream about running across US, seeing all that country and doing something good right there. Because each time when I run, we do a charity fundraiser, and this time my goal is to share the idea of as many people as we can, the idea that they can do more than they think, and if no matter if they are disabled or if they have disorders or they are facing some difficulties in life, they are capable of doing more than anyone would expect. So this is my goal, and that's why we're going to do a social campaign, because I'm going to involve a lot of people in that run. I'm going to be running the whole route, but there will be a lot of people joining me down the road, running for just 1 or 2 miles. Some of them will run for more. Some of them will just walk with me. But the idea is that we're gonna spread the message, and there will be people. For example, there's the guy with Down syndrome in Poland that he's doing 50 kilometers runs in the mountains. So I'm going to gather people like this, and they are going to join me for a couple of miles, and we're gonna talk about that in media, and we're gonna do a documentary about that because I want to let people know about such persons like this guy from Poland. So this is
Sure.
very
Well,
important for me.
tell me, here it's very important if we can explain to the people how the people can support your program, right? Because this
Yeah,
is something that you will do. And we have you have this web page which is called runacrossusa.org. Okay, and the people can come here in English or in Polish, and here they can donate money, like donate 1 mile. Uh,
yeah.
I already donated my mile, so I'm inviting everybody in the United States that can donate 1 mile. Because the interesting thing here is that you not only will be running and you need the support for all the team that is working with you, but you are planning to give some of the money to the people to this kind of organization that support people that are disabled. So I'm really excited to support you, and I invite everybody here to show it to their friends and everybody donate, and you can do it directly in his webpage, runacrossusa.org. Okay, and here you can sponsor Mile, and from there on, Thomas will be more than happy to to contact you eventually if you are a donor, and we will try to find ways to communicate with everybody. But again, I invite everybody to donate money in your webpage. Let's go back then here.
About that web page, you can donate some money. You can donate $50, and then you will be given that certificate that will prove that you are part of my run because you sponsored 1 mile. So this is the
Right,
idea.
and
And
we're a
there's
501c3. We're a 501c3 organization, so the donation is deductible from the
yeah,
taxes. So this is
yeah,
something
that's
very
very important. And also, if anyone would be so kind to help us contact with some sponsors, with some organizations or companies, so that would be great if there would be anyone willing to help us. And
so. Tell me, you want at some point
so,
to spread the voice so the people can find donors that can give you some more money, because this is a very costly expedition, because you will be running for 6 months. You have to have a crew that joins you. And besides that, you are doing the documentary that will be presented to raise funds for disability for different disabled people, right?
well, yes, that's exactly why it costs a lot. But because it's not only about running, right? It's also about the message we're going to spread. So this is the main idea. And if you want to contact me, or if you have any ideas about whom can I contact to find some sponsors, you can just go to that web page, and there are my contact information. There's my email, and I can send all the informations about the run and all the informations for the sponsors. So this is pretty important for me, and I'll be very grateful for such a help.
Okay, tell us a little bit about how did you choose the route that you will be going? Why did you decide to make this documentary to support all what you're doing? And what is the purpose of this socially significant feat?
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how do you came to all this?
Well, the idea is simple. I wanted to go across the whole United States from East Coast to West Coast. So that's why I'm running from New York to Los Angeles. It's also because of the weather, because I don't want to be in Arizona in the middle of summer. So I have to start on September in New York, and then I will be in Arizona around December. So the weather will be pretty good to run, at least better than in the middle of summer. And the other
How
thing
long
is
did
that
you take, how long did it take for you to plan all this adventure?
well, actually, right now it's gonna be around a year. When I was running to Greece and back last year, I only had 4 months to prepare everything. It was horrible because I was doing nothing but organizing everything, looking for sponsors, then organizing the start and the final point because I was running. The main goal was to run back to Poland and finish at the European Games. So it was an athletics event in Poland, and so it was pretty hard. And right now it takes around a year to make that dream come true. You know, at August last year, I only knew one Polish family in the United States, and these were the only people I knew, and I only knew them because we were sailing from Panama to Poland via Miami, for example. So this is pretty important thing for me that I'm trying to prove that anyone can do more than they think. Not only because I'm running so far, but I think sometimes it's even more difficult to organize everything. It's more difficult than run the whole thing. Sometimes I'm so happy that I can finally just focus on running and I don't have to think too much about organizing when I finally start. So I'm looking forward that moment when I will finally just keep in mind that I'm gonna be running a marathon a day and I don't have to worry about anything more than this.
Okay.
So this
Tell
is
me,
good. And then the idea about documentary, that's pretty important. Well, I always wanted to spread that message to the people, and I think this is one of the good ways. And also, I want people to know what happened during this expedition because I will not do this again. So this is important for me that I will have this kind of film that will I mean, that I can remind myself, remember everything because of it, but also we can involve some people who wouldn't be, I mean, not to the world, people who are not discovered yet. So I want these people to be known, people with disabilities, people who are doing more than anyone could think. So this is my goal, and that's why I came up with the idea of that documentary.
sounds fun. Really, really motivational, really exciting. I really thank God for introducing me to you last February and for having the opportunity to be your supporter because I'm really excited about this. Tell me one more thing about now about your family because you told me that you are four siblings and you have your father and your mother that live in Poland. Uh, how has been the support of all your family since they discovered that this was your passion? And when you start to organize ideas like this, because at the beginning I believe that everybody thought that you were crazy, that you cannot do these kind of things. And then when you start to make the first one, the second one, the third one, everybody started to be behind you and supporting you. Or how was the process with your family and your friends?
Well, that's exactly how it was because at the beginning nobody really believed that I can do this, but I proved something, and then I think they believed because they see. It's just like Thomas the Apostle. But so this was interesting. But my family was never really supportive at the beginning. I mean. I had to prove a lot, but then when I proved with the first runs that I can do that, then they helped me a lot. For example, my father and my sister went with me to Spain and they were driving a car while I was running 37 to 50 kilometers a day for the whole week. So they were there with me. They were helping me a lot. They were my support team. My mother was always worried about me, my health, and
No, she's a nurse.
consequences.
She's a nurse. No, your mother is a nurse.
Yes, yes, and that's reason why she was so worried. Believes in a lady from Czestochowa, and she always tells me that she can only pray for me to for everything to be good. She can't do much more about that, but I think she's proud of me. And now my father,
But they need to understand that when they gave you the name Thomas, okay,
yeah,
it was something very special because Thomas is a person that was a strong believer, okay, so strong that he wanted to prove that Jesus really showed up after the resurrection. But besides that, Thomas is the patron of India, of the Christians in India, and he's the apostle that came from Rome down to India to talk about Jesus Christ and the life. So he was the first global guy that started running around, okay, because on that time he didn't have other way than to walk and to do things. So maybe he was your predecessor. So your parents gave you the name and they have to now be proud of what is going on.
well, I didn't know that Thomas went all the way from Israel to India, so
From
that's
Rome,
interesting
from Rome,
actually.
from Rome, from
From
Rome to
Rome,
from Rome to
wow,
India.
it's even bigger distance. So, well, I think I will have to run that way one day, that route.
Also, I would like to ask you, you told me about another blessing in disguise, which was a very hard experience when you split with your girlfriend, because she was concerned about your program to run all these large marathons and that you won't be probably a typical dedicated husband. What do you think was the blessing in disguise from or of this hard situation in your life to what you're doing today?
Well, it was pretty tough moment because for a year I was a couple with a girl I loved and everything was perfect. She was a runner too, and we had the same passion, all that stuff. But then when I ran to Rome, and I was for like 40 days, I was out of home. Then she was after that she was afraid that it's going to be like that even more and more, and she wanted quite a normal life because she was also um, uh, I don't know, she was working in a lab, right? So she was just having this kind of
Eight to five, what we call here
eight,
8 to 5.
yeah, 8 to 5 job and all that stuff, and I never wanted a life like this. So it was pretty bad for us. But at that time, when there was pandemic on this planet, then we were doing great because I was at home and we could do a lot of things together. We could run in the mountains and going everywhere we wanted. But since I did that Rome expedition and I was planning another one, she was afraid that it would be more and more expeditions like that, and she would be right. But the thing is, at some point I thought I'm going to I think I'm choosing her instead of my passions and my dreams. And right now I can see how stupid it would be because you know someone told me that I am the only person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. So it's so important to be dedicated to my goals and dreams, and I know when I have my family and my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sisters are supporting me, and I would do anything for them. But what's so important that at the end of the day, I cannot sacrifice my own dreams for other people. So that's what I learned, and the blessing in disguise was that right now I think that it would be quite a stupid idea to just to forget about all these expeditions, forget about my talent I was given, and just lead a normal life, being unhappy and doing something that maybe I was not born for. So that I think this was the blessing in disguise, and it's pretty important for me that at the end of the day, I'm doing what I was born for, and at least I think, and I'm pretty happy doing that.
I 100% agree. And then let's close our podcast with a message that you would give to every person that you will meet during this new journey, and a message that you would like to leave that will impact the life of the people that you will be meeting or that will see your documentary or your videos. what would be your message to all these people? Can you say the message in two languages, in English and in Polish?
Yes, of course. So first in English, my message would be that we all have some challenges in life, and I want to show that you can do more than you think, and you don't have to run across the whole United States to prove it. I think you will have your own challenges, and when you will split these challenges to pieces, you will handle anything you want. So I believe that. I'm showing it. I mean, I'm running 26 miles every day during these expeditions, and I wouldn't do it in the one big step, but I can do this via millions of small steps. So that way you can achieve anything you want. So this is my message, and I believe in anyone who's facing the challenge that these people will handle it just as I will handle the run across US this year. And in Polish, right?
Right.
All right. If there are any Polish people there, to moje przesłanie dla was. Każdy ma swoje wyzwania w życiu i nie każdy będzie biegł przez całą Amerykę tak jak ja, ale każdy może zmierzyć się ze swoim wyzwaniem, dzieląc je sobie na kawałki i w ten sposób radząc sobie z tym, co trzeba codziennego, w każdym codziennym dniu zrobić. No i moje przesłanie jest proste, możesz więcej niż myślisz. Ja się o tym przekonałem wiele razy, wydawało mi się, że nie poradzę sobie, a potem podzieliłem to sobie na kawałki i okazało się, że jednak można. Więc to jest moje przesłanie po polsku. My Polish message. Yeah, that was it. Maybe somebody will understand it.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure that a lot of the people that is in your social media will see it, and we will get the support. I will spread it to my niece, and to my grandniece in Poland, because they live in Warsaw. I will give to a lot of people that I know that are Polish. We will spread it with the 60 million database Congress people.
Right.
So let's move forward. Hey, Guy, you have one of the greatest challenges that I have seen in the life, and this is why I'm so excited to be able to be today in the list of friends of you, because
Thank you.
I'm really blessed for being in your friend among your friends.
You are my friend actually right now, and I'm so grateful because I don't know how was that possible, but you solved one of my biggest problems just by coming to me and telling, "Hey, I can help you." So, Eugenio, I'm really grateful too, and I really appreciate that we met. And I think this year and this expedition will be something great, and it will be quite a good adventure, great adventure for me, but I think for you as well.
Sure, and I will join you in several places during
Yeah.
I won't run. I may walk a mile, but but I will join you in some of the places. I really appreciate the time that you took in Poland to talk to me, to talk to my audience, to talk to the people that will listen to this podcast. And I invite everybody to subscribe. If you like this kind of messages, we are always talking about blessings in disguise. I have already recorded 35 episodes, and I have found extremely interesting people in life. So I'm very blessed by God and the Virgin for having this kind of opportunities. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Thomas. And I hope that we also will work on your run to India following Apostle Thomas. So that can be your next challenge.
Well, I have one other idea, but I can share with you guys if you won't tell anyone. But my next goal, if only I will run across US, then my next goal is to run a marathon in every country on the planet within 1 year. And that will be extremely hard to organize. But this is my next plan, and maybe then I will run from Rome to India.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you with me. Bye.
Thank you very much.
We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If that is the case, we kindly invite you to show your support by giving us a like and subscribing to this channel. Visit our website to explore a collection of positive quotes from past episodes, and feel free to send us a message suggesting topics or guests you would like to see on our podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to having you join us again soon.